if you indeed believe in such things. There's not a lot of people here. It's going to be a pretty short show. Show kind of depends on me interacting with you, but if you're taking the day off, I'm going to take the day off. I forgot that it was a state holiday until like 20 minutes ago. I sound like Shorty Rides calling it a state holiday. Happy Columbus Day to those of you who celebrating the world's greatest illegal immigrant. Um, you know, if you don't like Christopher Columbus, then you don't like him because he came from Italy on behalf of Spain, and he came and he accidentally or on purpose founded the Americas, which were not at all founded by Amerigo Vespucci, apparently. I don't know why it's called America, named after Amerigo Vespucci if it was founded by Columbus. Or, Leif Erikson had entered the chat at some point. But if you hate Columbus because he came to this country and was the first of a wave of many illegal immigrants who took over the land and destroyed the culture that was already here before he got here, well, then you question yourself. Should the Native Americans have put up a big wall around the country and had a rigorous and robust law that forbade illegal immigration so that they could protect their culture and their way of life? You really can't have it both ways, because whether you like it or not, the country as it was when you were born is the indigenous people now. And if you're trying to protect your culture from annihilation, from invading people from another land whose culture is not compatible with yours and that they are going to outnumber you and displace you, then I guess you better put up a wall, and you better start, if you hate Columbus, that's what you better start doing. Millions of years ago, these lands weren't occupied by anybody, and the theory always was that there was some sort of land bridge across the Bering Strait, and that people from the Mongolian area of Asia were able to migrate across this land bridge in the Bering Strait and populate North America. This is why they have a Mongoloid genotype, which sounds like an insult, but they're Mongoloids. They're from Mongolia. They're Asians. Okay. So there was no indigenous people, and then they were indigenous people, and I guess finders keepers is the law that we're supposed to have for all time, I guess. But anyway, if you hate Columbus, but you love illegal immigrants from Mexico and other parts, then you're a big hypocrite, and you reveal that the whole anti or pro-immigration stance is really just one that's based off of hating white people and what white people have done, because you hate Columbus for invading or immigrating illegally, and you hate white people for keeping brown people from illegally immigrating. I don't know. I guess I just feel like America has done great things in the past 250 years. I think we underestimate how great America has been in that amount of time. What has England accomplished in 250 years? I mean, it took them a whole lot longer to accomplish half of what we did, and I guess we're just supposed to hand it over to people that don't respect the law, don't respect the culture, and don't necessarily want to work for entitlements. When my ancestors came over, it was just before, in the midst of the Civil War, so it's like we knew that we were getting into some shit, and we came over on a boat. I'm sure maybe it had a bathroom by then, but a lot of our ancestors came over in boats that didn't have bathrooms, and they shit over a rail, and they ate hardtack and gruel and picked rat feces out of their beans. 4 months to come over here where they had no insurance, and they had no welfare, and they had no job lined up and no house when they got off the boat. And they eventually made their way across the Rockies to economically and culturally develop a continent. Well, the people that are coming here now are not looking to do that. They are more often than not looking for free medical care and receiving it, and other kinds of fiduciary benefits and receiving it, and getting cushy jobs in the Des Moines public school system, $300,000 and getting it. That's a lot more money than I make. So I don't think that illegal immigration in the era of Columbus or the mass migration era of colonial England at all compares to modern day situations. But you can't confuse these issues with facts, because, like I said, you might expose racial hypocrisy from progressives. But that is fine. Drew's here says the ocean is flat. I've heard that. Am I sick? No, I woke up in my house and my house was really cold this morning. And so I put on the heat and I've bundled up. But my voice was it was like sleeping outside all night. So I'm sounding extra sexy today. The family did not engage in cannibalism of the Donner Party. Guess what? Apropos of nothing, we're now talking about the Donner Party. That's so weird, Talio. Everything I've heard about the Donner Party is that they did do that, but maybe they didn't, and I just need to look into that. I mean, big surprise. Would me being misled about history unless I look into it? Sounds right. Drew's here, not to intimidate or bother me. Speak slower. I'm in the airport and trying to get my earbuds in. Okay. Can't you set it to slow? Maybe you can't do that while it's live. But can't you set it to 0.75 speed? Folksy wants to tell me why Hard Time dropped last night. I need answers. Okay. If you really want to know the most boring thing about that I could possibly tell you, I'm going to tell you. So, StreamYard, I record Hard Time on StreamYard. However, the StreamYard that I use to record Hard Time does not belong to me, nor do I pay for it. It belongs to Drew. So he lets me use it as a courtesy. So what I do is I record Hard Time on StreamYard, and then I download that, and that episode goes out to Spotify, because that's where we're trying to have that show exist, on Spotify. But sometimes Jake cuts reels and things from this, and although he could just screen record Spotify, I guess we don't do that for some reason. And so I download the episode from StreamYard, and then to post it to YouTube so that he can get the video, download it, and make reels out of it, what I do is I schedule a broadcast to YouTube. This is easier than me taking the download from my computer and then very slowly uploading it, because I can just jump on StreamYard and say, oh, schedule a broadcast. And I normally hit unlisted, or I normally hit private. And I noticed that I had made it public last night, and I switched it on StreamYard to unlisted, but it didn't take effect on YouTube. So late last night, for no reason, people thought that we were having a live show on YouTube, even though we've never done that before. The episode had already come out. And so they were getting in the chats and they're like, well, why did you stop the episode? I'm like, because I'm just trying to upload it to YouTube. I'm not trying to broadcast anything. So there you go. There's your answers. It's just me being lazy and bad. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that. I should have learned last week that when I explained the Simpsons meme about zinc, that explaining things is the most boring thing that you can possibly hear. So I won't be doing that ever again. If I set you to 1.25, your show will end quicker. That's what I do. When I leave here, I listen to my own show to like make sure I didn't say anything stupid or terrible. And obviously I'm not paying attention to it, otherwise the show would end. But I generally listen to things at 1.25 speed. Native Americans should have been more inclusive. That's what makes you a good person. Yes, obviously it's just including people and bringing them in, even if their values totally conflict with yours. We will have Sharia law in this country before our children's generation is out. And that's a form of strict conservative religious doctrine that totally devalues women and gay people and Western civilization, but we will bring it in and we will make it a part of our lives because it's important that we include even the terrible and bad ideas. And it's important that we include terrible and bad people. And it's important that we include all the worst and most failure ideas ever conceived by the human race, rather than have a place where we use what's tried and true and what has worked to elevate us from a nothing country to the dominant, strongest, richest country on earth in just a scant 250 years. Let us throw all that away. Let us throw the baby out with the bathwater and then just have a bunch of fucking terrible ideas that have made the rest of the world miserable. The rest of the world is miserable. The rest of the world is trying to get here because our country is great, and the rest of the world is trying to bring their fucking terrible, awful ideas and ways of life with them, even though it's what made the place that they're fleeing fucking awful. Makes sense. It's fine. It's like you pooped in every other corner of the bed and, of your room, and now there's one corner left that doesn't have a fucking turd in it. Well, come on over here, and instead of cleaning yourself up and being a human being, just come poop over here because there's space over here in this end of the sandbox. That's how they treat America. What a nice place. Let's ruin it. And before you get all like, that's really, that's not acceptable. That's a bad analogy. Go look at New Delhi, the capital of India. It's the capital city. Now, admittedly, we don't do capitals so well ourselves, but it is full of trash. It is a country of hoarders and filthiness and no standards. And I used to kind of used to feel like the anti-littering and the recycle, reduce, reuse rhetoric was too much. Give a hoot, don't pollute. Fuck, you want to live in a place like that with raw sewage in the Ganges River and it's a sacred place where you should bathe and all this? Absolutely not. Sorry, that's mean, but I don't want this country to be a shithole, literally or figuratively. Is that too much to ask that you not poop in my pool? I don't know. I guess I'm not inclusive enough. I need to be including people that would do that. I am lurking in a meeting, doing work, getting in the way of real important stuff. Okay. People always tell me what they're doing. I mean, I'm glad that you do that. We're all sharing our mornings, I guess. My favorite Hollywood neurotic died. Rest in peace to Diane Keaton. She was good in Father of the Bride, I thought. I believe that was her. If it wasn't her, then I'm sorry for saying that. I don't know why my camera does that every once in a while. It just sends you the rainbow flag to indoctrinate you. Who is the Canadian Christopher Columbus? I mentioned Leif Erikson, but I guess not. Christopher Columbus and America and Canada were discovered. North America was discovered. I guess Leif Erikson just can't get no loving. I hate that America shits in their own backyard with no thought of the future. Like what? What do you mean we shit in our own backyard? Explain that to me. I mean, are you making a sociological statement there, or are you making an environmental statement there? Because I was being figurative and literal. I was talking about shitty people and shitty environmental practices. You let me know. But if you're going to dish some hate on America, it better be something intellectually rigorous or something anti-government. If you're just talking about the people, then I don't know. You know what? Fuck Smokey the Bear. While we're at it, he's a pagan. Well, we were, the fires are a part of the natural forest life cycle. I think that Smokey the Bear, and I am completely wrong on this because I'm sure that Smokey was invented before the 1980s, but the only Smokey the Bear that I have any conscious memory of is from the 80s. And it was an era of McGruff the Crime Dog and that owl from Tootsie Rolls. So it's like we just had cartoons that were like responsible for certain areas of thought. And so Smokey was there. Garbage, literal garbage. Okay. So you must be mad at all the electric cars and everything that have that we are supposed to be using to reduce our carbon emissions, because all these electric cars, they obviously we have children in Africa mine heavy metals like cobalt and lithium, and they die in the mines, which is fine. We bring those heavy metals over here, and then we create electric cars that can burn even if you spray water on them, and they put out hazardous chemicals when they burn. And we have no idea what to do with these electric cars when they reach the end of their life expectancy, and we have to like seal them in a concrete vault underground, and because they're leaking battery acids and various other chemicals. And the lie, of course, is that we're getting off of fossil fuels. However, most electricity in this country comes from burning coal, because we're not allowed to have nukes, because nuclear energy is unclean and bad. So we're just moving the places that we are burning fossil fuels, and also creating government subsidies so that all of us are paying for it, whether we like it or not. So yeah, if that's what you're complaining about, I guess I'm on board with that. It's probably about something else. Thank you for quickly jumping on that and making me appear to be an a-hole. No, motherfucker, only you could prevent forest fires. It was a terrible burden to bear as a child. I felt stressed out. McGriff never stopped criminals. Not only that, but I believe the guy that did the voice of McGriff like went to prison for a long, long time. All right, I'm all caught up. Let's do some memes. I talked about Columbus and how much I hate people who hate Columbus. Uh, I hate Indigenous Peoples Day. Like it used to just be it was Columbus Day, and then it was, I think at some point it was American Indian Day, which obviously is too mean. How dare you call them that? And then it was Native American Day, which we all kind of settled on. I'm like, okay, fine. But now it's Indigenous Peoples Day. We have to constantly like, what's the next degree of like, sorry Indians for coming here. What's the next degree of passive voice, inherently apologetic language? What's the next label that we can apply to them to further describe how fucking sorry we are for waking up every day and still being here and being white people? Let's find a new way to say how sorry we are for everything that we've done. It's not enough. It's not enough that I'm alive, uh, and that I had nothing to do with the history of anything. That I've never oppressed anyone. I woke up today, and so I'm an oppressor. After my death, I will be celebrated for how correct I was. He had all the correct opinions, historians will say. It makes me mad that Sridhar Ramesh thought of this when clearly he was thinking of me. I stand correct. People will remember me for having the most correct opinions. Oh, I wanted to mention this about merch. So I filled out the form, and I asked them to, deactivate the missiles, turn the key with me, deactivate the store. They said, fill out this insane form in which you have to, tell me what is your quest and what is your favorite color, and what's the total airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow and all this. Well, it didn't work. They said, oh, show your shop should be closed within 1 business day. Well, it's still live and still ongoing. So I've made a change. I don't know how well this will work. I can't help but notice that when you attempt to delete artwork from Teespring, it merely calls it archiving it, which is not the same thing as deleting. Archiving kind of implies that, like, oh, we're going to put this in the warehouse with the Ark of the Covenant, and it can come out at any time in the future, which is exactly what I'm sure it was. What it is. Teespring now owns these pieces of art forever. It is on their servers, and if they want, they can use it anytime they want. I want to say again that they were not shipping product. They took money from my fans, exploited them, did not deliver. They did not pay me. They said that they paid me in August $55, a meager sum. I received nothing. I asked them to shut down the store. I asked them to resolve problems. They didn't do shit. And now the store is not being shut down. So, and I'm sure they're not deleting any of the artwork that I gave them to produce merchandise with. So I've switched things up a little bit. In my anger and my supreme anger, I have created a new line of Teespring apparel here. Teespring is a scam. This is the give away your money hoodie, a unisex classic pullover hoodie. You can get it in sizes small all the way up to 5XL if you like that. It's got the kangaroo pocket in front. Of course, it comes as a T-shirt, as a hoodless sweatshirt, or as a sweaty, as they say in Australia. And then, of course, I couldn't help but myself, but I used the Teespring logo to create the Teespring Steals Your Money Fly by Night T-shirt. This is a next level 3600 premium ring spun cotton T-shirt that you can also get in sizes small up to size extra small. So small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL, and then extra small. And I did not go to all the trouble to make it lots of different colors because fuck, this is a fucking joke. And I just put these in here so that Teespring, if at any point ever gets viewed by a real actual human, they will see that I am now using their platform to, not that anyone will ever fucking see my store or come across this incidentally. Like, oh, I'm just going to browse through Teespring and see what I come across. And they're going to find my store and be advised by this clever T-shirt that Teespring is a scam. But, I have done what I can do. What else can I do? I archived my old, all my old stuff because I can't delete it. And so all I can do is let everyone know that Teespring is a fucking scam. Maybe I should make a shirt that has the F word on it. Maybe that would more accurately capture how I feel. But that's the current state of the merchandise store. Philip Lewis says, just beat up a homeless woman so she can go to the hospital and have a bed to sleep in. God's plan. What a sweet man. You gotta live your life every day thinking, what can I do for others? The modern world does not make this an easy thing to do, but go out there and make sure that homeless woman or society's most vulnerable people, make sure you're taking care of them. Surprised that they don't have a hospital bed to sleep in. Anyway. All right, guys, you can either push or pull a door. You can't leg a door. Stop training your legs. This one goes out to Jenny, who's encouraging me to do the Stairmaster and do the weird leg press thing that caused a serious, grievous injury to me several years ago, the nature of which I will not go into great detail to describe. But you can push a door or pull a door. You cannot leg a door. Stop training the legs. This guy, by the way, knows what he's talking about. Obviously trains quite a bit. I wish I could get away with wearing an A shirt. I cannot. This from Chill Blinton. How do you make a fried egg according to AI? Step 1, heat the pan, clearly whisking heat into the pan. Number 2, crack the pan. So now there's a fried egg, and then there's an egg already on the top of that egg. And then step 3, poke egg, where now the egg is already open and pouring poke into the egg. Step 2, a round dish of eggs. 3, some kind of ladling of the egg white. Step 4, detach the whisk from the whisk handle and allow that to rest inside the egg. Step 5, fry the egg, again by pouring more yolk out of the egg. Step 4, egg. Pour yolk from a butter, some sort of butter boat, gravy boat. Pour egg from there. Step 5, fried egg. That's how you know that we're all going to be fine. Drew constantly suggesting we use AI. I was talking to him last Friday. We need a sexy girl on the show. He says we will do it with AI because neither one of us knows a sexy girl. Not one. Caller ID isn't enough for me. I need to know why you're calling. I would pay an extra $6.99 a month for color justification. I would, because caller justification is a huge portion of my life. I answer the phone, and and I hear his long fucking story, and I can't be told where anything's happening or why. um, and I don't gatekeep government services. You can have whatever you want, but I do have to hear the justification a lot of the time, and a lot of times there is no justification. Anyway, it steals from my cup. First day is Coast Guard. I would love to be Coast Guard. 7 people died on your watch today. Me looking off into the distance. Yes, but the coast is fine. I have guarded the coast. This from Dispatcher John. So this is about dispatch. Nobody likes working with you. Me couldn't be more pleased. Could be that. I think that's where I'm at now. I'm not sure anyone does like working with me. And that is how I feel about it. Guys, remember, Kevin McAllister could have phoned the police at any time. He was a child who had accidentally been left home alone. One call and he would have been safe. But this was never about safety. He was hunting those men. He wanted them to die. It was fun for him. He enjoyed it. Yes, that is not, this meme is not in dispute. Do you not remember when he calls down to the burglars and says, "Do you guys give up or are you thirsty for more?" Do you not remember that? Yes, he enjoyed it. Yes, it was fun for him. Not only that, but I hate to tell you this, but back in the 80s and 90s, people had a different relationship with the police. We weren't over reliant on them for everything. We didn't view the police as the answer to all problems. That's the problem now, is that we say the police are not up to snuff. The police are not good enough. The police are not stepping into the gap to fill the needs of mental health crisis and all these other things that we now demand the police do. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was well understood the police had a very narrow band of mission for them to fulfill, which was to enforce the law, to prevent crimes when possible, to keep people safe, but mostly to arrest bad guys. So this is a situation that's totally asymmetric to that mission. Kevin is home alone. He doesn't want to go to juvenile hall. He doesn't want to be in state custody. He doesn't want to be a ward of the state at Christmas time. Are you kidding me? He's home alone, except for the burglar situation. He is safe. He is having a good time. He's taking care of things. He's doing the laundry. He bought bread, milk, and fabric softener. He's doing everything that he can do as the man of the house and not getting scared now. The burglars show up, and he doesn't view it as the right or the responsibility of an American to just abdicate the dominion of his home. Oh, it's up to the police to save me. It's up to the police to protect my property. Kevin's a true American. When a problem arises, he meets it head on with hilarious forms of violence. He truly does. And this is not even a bit or a joke. He represents what a true American is or was in the 80s and 90s. And it was someone who didn't rely on government authority to get involved to solve all of his problems for him. Now we have that. Now people are calling and saying, "Tell my neighbor to turn off their music. And if I have to go over there, you won't like it." I'm like, well, I wouldn't like it if you acted like an adult and talked to your neighbor. You're saying I wouldn't like that? Kevin McAllister, a true American hero, solved all his problems for himself as best he could. And when it was time for the police to get involved, to arrest and remand the custody of the wet bandits into the local jail, that's exactly what he did. He vanquished them with hilarious violence. And only when he was done with them did he turn them over to proper authorities. Complete, total, sincere lesson in there. I've never seen Black Mirror, but I'm interested in it because I like the X-Files and I like the Twilight Zone. Black Mirror is written by one stoned British dude who just mutters shit like, "What if your mom ran on batteries?" Is that what the show's like? Fantasy football is pretty much based on injury luck, unless I win, in which case it's more of a skill-based game. That's actually why I left fantasy football behind, because I was not living out my fantasies. Like, I have an idea of what a great football team would be. And then I would have that idea in my mind, and then it would be draft day, and then like that fantasy was destroyed before a game was played. I'm like, oh, I get one player that I wanted. And now I'm having to get all these guys who just don't mean much of anything to me, but statistic on paper they look good. And then every week, yes, someone gets injured, or every single week I was replacing kickers or defenses or whatever. I would just lived off the waiver wire. I just looked at what games were coming up and which players and were likely to do well based off of their opponents and who was available. And I won. And so it wasn't about fantasies. It was about giving a huge amount of your personal time over to something for no reason, which, I do as a podcaster. So, it's not like I don't do that anyway. No, buddy. My uncle, after half a beer, has a white guy ever dropped a football before crossing the goal line? Oh, when your uncle just has half a beer, all of a sudden he realizes that maybe that hasn't happened. I'm trying to remember all the famous cases. I know that Leon Lett did it. He's a black guy. I would try asking Chat GPT, but for last week's episode of Com Center, I made a bold inquiry of Chat GPT. I said to Chat GPT, I said, give me a list from the past 5 years of every single white person that's been killed by a black person. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't generate that because that's inflammatory, and it suggests certain things about society, and we can't be a party to that, and your intentions are to propagate some sort of hateful message, and it's just like I got real mad at it because I'm like, well, there are white people who've been killed by black people. Maybe I just want to know who those people are. And I say to Chat GPT, fuck you for trying to guess what my intention is. In Chat GPT, hey, you're right for calling that out. I don't know what you're up to, but I still can't generate that. So I did the research the old-fashioned way in last week's episode of Com Center when I showed 5 or 6 pictures of victims of crime. They were, in fact, people that had been made victims by black people, which is only incidental, but it's like these are the crimes and the people that you don't get to hear about because that's antithetical to the narrative that the national media and local news media too propagates about violence between the races. They want you to believe that white people kill black people, and they don't ever want to talk about black people killing black people, and they never, ever, ever want to talk about black people killing white people. They're worried that if they told the truth, that it might create racism. Kind of like how the city of San Francisco said they would not release camera footage from the trains there because they were worried it would incite racism. Yeah, you might be showing people the things that they already inherently know because they already live in this world and they already see things. And the last thing we would want to do is give them something to confirm their bias. That's my intellectual way of dealing with it. But each of those cases was someone and the race really doesn't matter, but it was someone who was let down by the criminal justice system and someone who was attacked by someone for no reason. In the case of that little boy, I believe his name was, I know Tipton was his last name, Lucas Tipton. I feel sorry if I'm getting his last name wrong, but a crazy guy who was not mentally well. He's currently being released from prison now. He's only done like 8 years in prison. But he broke into a house and knifed an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old boy to death in his bed. And me, I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of little kids getting knifed in their beds, and then we have to have empathy for the person that does it. And we're not allowed to tell the truth. We're not allowed to make AI searches about what's going on. And I feel bad for all victims of crime, and no one deserves to be knifed to death. And like I said, if in that way the race aspects of it doesn't matter, but you don't get to know about certain things because the algorithm and AI flat out told me that I'm not allowed to make that inquiry, and the news and the FBI and other entities want to make sure that you don't ever get the impression as a white person that black people are to get you. And that was why Irina Zarutska was so provocative, because he says, I got that white girl. And then he fucking for no reason stood up and stabbed her multiple times as she looked on in abject confusion and fear. And that could not be hidden by the algorithm, and it could not be hidden by the government, and it could not be hidden by the news. Back to the comments. Oh. Oh, that was what the ranting was. Truth and Reconciliation Day. If only it was really about reconciliation. And I don't know what it is in Canada, but it's not about reconciliation. Because if it was about reconciliation, it would be about the Inuit and other people in Canada coming together to say, you know what, this happened 200 to 300 years ago, but Canada is something to be proud of now because we're tolerant and inclusive of people, and we're 15% of the land mass on North America, and we have a good hockey team. But that's not what Reconciliation Day is. It's still about just trying to make you feel bad. Still no sticker. Unfortunately, really want to order that today. Don't do it. Don't do it unless someone would look at it and realize, oh my gosh, this guy is he's turned the system against us. I'm already hoping that Ranger Up comes through. I'm not dumping G more on Teespring. Yeah, sorry. Fuck off, Jonathan. Oh, about leg day. I just saw this apropos of nothing, and it just hurt my feelings all the way down to the middle of my Cadbury cream egg core. But you can have push pull workout split. That includes legs. Yeah, but you can't open a door with a leg. Come back and Jenny swearing, fuck you. So John upset my Jenny. I checked my personal and business personal profiles on Venmo and PayPal, and I don't have any payment from Teespring just in case our stores got crossed. They wouldn't have. This is totally different. I don't even use the same browser to access it. Different email address. All the products are different. It's not. Yeah, I promise I'm not getting those two things confused. But Drew, we really ought to close the comm center one, because although we never did take off this past summer, the last thing I want to do is find a new fan and then quickly turn them against us because the merch isn't coming. Oh man, can you believe that I watched K-pop Demon Hunters? All right, I was dreading it. I would sleep through my movies, and I didn't want to embarrass my daughter, so I snore loudly. You guys are just having your own conversation. I'm late, but listening at work. Butter Queen, hopefully you're enjoying how happy I am. Obviously, you've never been in a Target bathroom. Did you even work there? They have foot door openers. They didn't have those back in the day. Actually, I'm aware of them now, that you can open the door so that you don't get your hands filthy. But when I worked there, they didn't have those. And yes, I could tell you stories about the time when I went in to use the bathroom, and I should have used the employee bathroom, but I'm in there in my full uniform and I'm just using the fucking urinal because it's right near kind of where I work. I work near the front doors. And this kid comes in and he's like, I don't like police. And I'm just ignoring him because I'm like, I just want to use the bathroom. I don't like police. And I'm like, okay. I say to the little 5-year-old, they took my daddy away to jail. And I'm like, this is, I don't really want to let you know. I don't want to talk to you in a bathroom outside of the supervision of your parents about how your dad's a piece of shit. It's fine. So, I left, and then whatever. And then what else? Oh, also, I found a guy once who had taken a whole bottle of Southern Comfort and drank most of it and broken the bottle and slit his wrist with it. So I have been in there. I do know what goes on in the bathroom at Target. I know all the songs against my will. I didn't memorize the songs, thank God. It wasn't a terrible movie. It was the worst part of it, You ever pluck a guy's eyebrows and realize they're absolutely not the superior gender and are weak as shit? My partner thought this until she got a fucking uppercut. Then she wasn't very superior after that. Yeah. You think the judge is whether or not of how well we take plucking of our eyebrows, but maybe a beating is in order. Me think of a new excuse to call off of work. Scully, this is a classic case of demon fetal harvest. This, by the way, is I believe it's from season 7. terms of endearment. This is when David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson cannot stand each other at all. So they literally have no scenes together on screen, and they are always separated physically and talking over the phone. I already played that one, guys, and that one. Sorry I missed the 4 Instagram reels you sent me. I opened the app and saw that you sent me 4 Instagram reels, so I closed the app. Sorry, I feel that way a lot of the time. People send me shit, and it's just like I'm not in the mood or the place to hear this right now. Not only that, but like I'm at work a lot of the time. And like, so I don't want some random sound playing in front of my coworkers, or if someone's keying the radio and my phone's going and it's some sort of, especially since people send me some pretty racist shit. I don't want to listen to that. But also, like, how do I explain this? I'm someone that tends the garden of sound around my head very thoughtfully. I'm always wearing headphones all the time, literally all the time, playing whatever it is that I need to hear to calm the rage and sadness inside of me. So if it's some annoying, fucking South Park reel that I don't think is funny and has annoying sounds in it, I don't want to hear it. And I'm just going to close it down. There's very, very, very few people that can send me reels and that I will actually watch them. Very few. It's fewer than 5. Entering a random car at a red light. We haven't met yet in this timeline. Driver. Dude, get out. Me. That's not what happens. You take us to Five Guys and become besties. Driver. I'm calling the police. Showing him a faded Polaroid of a cheeseburger. Not what happens. I don't even remember saving this meme, but like I think I saw it. I think I scrolled past it and knew that I liked it. We haven't met yet in this timeline. You take me to Five Guys and become besties. It's not easy to travel through time. Someone sent a message to from Nickelback 1, which is how you know it's the first Nickelback, so it's definitely them. Hi. Hey, no way this is Nickelback. Photograph. That's the proof that it's Nickelback. Photograph. United Kingdom. We call it autumn, from the French word automne and later the Latin autumnus. In the USA, we call it leaf here because leaf fall down. If your girl texts you and tells you how she's had a shitty day, just simply go pick her up and take her to a Mexican restaurant and order her a large margarita and get some chips and queso. Her whole day will be turned around instantly. Why is this one here? I feel like this is a sincere meme that I saved to send to someone else that should never have been on the show. I think it's mandatory, especially in the morning, to be quiet. Like I said, this is all part of me carefully tending the garden of sound around my head. I often prefer quiet. And maybe I don't want to be at work and hear someone else's reels. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if I didn't have to hear their fucking TikTok. If only they had the consideration for me that I have for them, then they would not be playing their fucking shit on their fucking cell phone while I'm 5 feet away from them. But that's a hypothetical situation, and I'm not really mad about it. Guys, just remember, Halloween's coming up. 1 cup of hot dog water per child. I had my feelings about illegal immigration summed up quite well by the Halloween example. So you like Halloween and you like trick-or-treaters. You like people coming onto your property even though they're technically not supposed to be there because you're a good neighbor. And you don't mind sharing some of the amazing benefits that you have because you're wealthy, you can afford it, and you want to do something kind for someone else that could use a Kit Kat. But ain't nobody got time for that. You're not going to stand at your door and then hand out candy to all the kids because you have a life. You have to go to the moon. You have other things going on as a country. So instead, you leave a big bowl of candy out on the porch, and that should be fine. And any reasonable and any good person who's coming onto your land to enjoy the benefits of what you have freely offered would only take one fucking Kit Kat and move on. However, the problem with modern Halloween and the problem with modern illegal immigration is that you have one kid show up and they empty the whole fucking bowl into their bag. And it turns your heart against Halloween, and it turns your heart against your neighbors, and it turns your heart against people who exploit a system of tacit kindness. Does that explain it? Does it sum up my feelings about illegal immigration that, I could look the other way and even be kind to my neighbors until it becomes exploitative? Yeah, I could do that. All right, where am I at? I already showed that Mulder one and that one. Garden of sound around my head. I already talked about that. Photograph. Where am I at? All right, yes, 1 cup of hot dog water per child. Guys, is this a sandwich? Please discuss. I think it probably is a sandwich, but how does one go about eating that? That bread looks really good, by the way, as does the deli meat. Is that turkey? Is that what I'm looking at there? A nice hard cheese, Gruyere or something is what I'd like to see on there. And plenty of mayo. Always dress a sandwich, guys. I slept with an Uncrustable tucked under my pillow last night because I was waiting for it to unfreeze and I passed out. And you wake up to a soggy, squished, lukewarm Uncrustable. Would you guys try this pumpkin spice bologna? Now, I'm not going to rant about how it's technically pumpkin pie spice and that this bologna does not taste like pumpkin. It tastes like nutmeg and cinnamon and chicken and pork. See, that's what it says on there. It says made with chicken and pork and pumpkin and cinnamon. But your pumpkin spice latte does not have pumpkin in it. So this meme propagates a lie that troubles me greatly. Every drunk cigarette you have extends your life expectancy by 3 years. What the media doesn't want you to know. What Smokey the Bear doesn't want you to know. The forest fires are good for the forest and that cigarettes are great for your health. Drew heading back home to Florida. Florida-style pizza is when you order a pizza and then a guy on meth drives to your house and stabs you. I wish I could find this picture, but Drew was very early on in our professional relationship. He was flying to Las Vegas, I think. This is actually when he went out there to get married. And somehow he got diverted through Minneapolis, as happens sometimes. And he was looking out his window to snow and frost that is common in Minneapolis in the wintertime. And it's really no big deal. And he was frustrated because he was delayed because they were de-icing the plane, which frankly, Drew, I would want them to de-ice the plane. You really want them to fly up there and not be able to move the flaps and elevators and all that? Whatever. So then I edited the picture. I'm like, yeah, you obviously want to be back in Florida. So he sent me the picture of him looking at the window of his plane at ice and snow and everything. And I edited it so that it was a gang member and an alligator and all this Florida shit. Like, yeah, obviously you want to get back to Florida as fast as possible. Anyway, I've always been very funny and I haven't been able to properly share that with the world. Oh my God, I just keep accidentally smoking another cigarette. What do they call it, Drew, when you start smoking and you can't stop smoking? Is it called gentleman's ambition? Dates don't have to be expensive. Here are 10 completely free first date ideas. Are you going on a first date? I know what you're thinking, that you want to sit up on top of the roof and then after a moment of romance of looking at the waning third quarter moon, throw yourself off to your death to forever fuck up their lives. Here's some good free ideas. Get into a car wreck. That's going to be a story that they remember for all time, especially if they have chronic pain. That will always remind them of you, even if you don't work out. Getting into a fist fight, not necessarily with your date, but I'm not going to rule it out. Shoplifting. Most people don't get invited to shoplift. But you got to remember that in an ever more permissive society, shoplifting is probably just a civil issue anymore. So just go ahead and do it. Committing murder, again, that to me, that's really more of a third date thing. Threatening a politician. I mean, if it's something that you like to do in your free time, why not share it with someone that you're interested in romantically? I would say the same thing about writing a manifesto. Is this person that you're dating kind of a artsy fartsy? Are they kind of a crafty person? Do they hate the government as much as you? I mean, it could be love. Go ahead and write a manifesto. See what they got. I think it's important to see their political manifesto to see if they're extremely far right or extremely far left, so that you know whether or not they're marriage material or, basically Antifa. Rob a rich neighborhood. It's like an obstacle course. You get in there and get it out, see what you can get away with. Arson. We all know that the best toy that we all grew up with was not Legos, it was not Barbies, it was not Ninja Turtles, it was not G.I. Joe. It was matches. And so we all innately know that. So may as well just go ahead and have a little bit of arson as a treat. Also, let's not forget vandalizing a government building. You can't technically destroy anything that you own. And as a tax-paying citizen, you can vandalize a little government just a little bit. Now, if you're an illegal immigrant, I don't want you touching those government buildings. I want you to become naturalized first, a full U.S. citizen, adopt our language, our culture, our way of life, and then vandalize away. Takes a bite of the Pringle. Yes. Nods at date, then the waiter. We will have the tube. I saw Pringles the other day, and I'm like, I like Pringles, don't I? Then why don't I have any good memories of them? Except like when I was 5. I think you grow out of Pringles. Women would somehow find an issue with this. Well, I think Fireball is good, but if you're drinking it straight, there's a problem. You should obviously be adding that to a spirit that tastes like alcohol, like bourbon, just as to jazz it up a little bit. But there's some Marlboros there and some bacon, power drill. Other items, that you might need at a moment's notice, all in one convenient place. That reminds me, at the same time, one ladle of hot dog water, only one Glock per kid, please. Or a Kool-Aid jammer. That's fine. If you're unfamiliar with Wisconsin's geography, you might think there's a single county that's not full of alcoholics, but that's actually a lake. I believe that it's right near Green Bay, if you could believe that. But you know what's funny is that every person I know who lives in Wisconsin is a fucking lush. They will drink all day. They'll literally just sit there and order drink after drink after drink after drink. And you've been at a bar and you're like, okay, what else is there to do? Well, they don't care. They just want to sit there and drink. Drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. All goddamn day long. Some people are nerds because they play video games. Some people are nerds because they're bookish. Some people are nerds because they collect flags and maps and all these other things. There is such a thing as an alcohol nerd. The sole thing that you like to do in your life is fucking drink. Boring. You're a boring person. Night cereal is one of the few things in life that always lives up to the hype. I'm very excited. I just got some Ghost protein that tastes like Count Chocula. I'm led to believe. I will have some today, probably at some point. And I will be told whether or not my protein powder will fulfill me in the same way that Count Chocula could. I never stopped thinking about this, ever. And I'm sorry to bring this to you and show it to you. But literacy is a prison. It's a prison. Once you learn to read, you can't just stop doing it. You can't unlearn reading. The weird thing is we can unlearn so many things, but reading sticks. If you see words, you're going to read them. And you can't look away, and you can't not understand them. If I show you a word, you know what it is. Unless it's like a big damn long word. Anyway, I hate that. It's oppressive. It takes away your power of choice to not understand because you just see a word and you know. Ignorance is bliss, but knowledge is power, cruel power, the power to oppress. New account that I'm following, which is really good. It's called Great Advice for Shitty People. Tell people that they'd agree with you if they knew you better. I almost used this on someone this weekend who was arguing with me over the stupidest things on Instagram, which I'm stupid for getting caught up in. But other great advice for shitty people: smelling your hand after a handshake. Just go check out that account. Totally worth it. For those of you who don't know, this is Snickers salad. A picture here of a completed Snickers salad. It's a dessert in the United States, which is common in Iowa and Minnesota. It is served cold. Its main ingredients are Snickers bars, which are chopped up, Granny Smith apples, diced, and whipped topping. In other words, Cool Whip. And that's it. That's a salad to us. You want to feel healthy? You want to have a salad? You want to eat light? Have a Snickers salad. Never trust a motherfucker who drinks milk. Look at all the people here we have. Anton Chigurh, the guy from A Clockwork Orange. Hans Alonza. Is that his name? Guy from Inglourious Bastards. And then that guy in the top left, whoever he is, he's drinking milk too. I drink my milk from a farm. I love how milk has become the universal symbol of true evil and psychopathy in film because it's both valid and correct. See if I can post a picture of myself drinking milk soon. I accidentally used women's body wash this morning, and I can already feel myself lying for no reason at all. I thought of my sister when I put this in here, and I thought this will make my sister mad. She will say, Jonathan, in all caps. And then I made sure to include it. I love a man with a bedtime. Boys don't need to be staying up late and having thoughts. That's how we ended up with the stock market. This by Gabby Boyd. At Gabby Boyd. Chile is so long that it could serve as a bridge connecting Spain to Canada across the Atlantic Ocean, and yet it refuses to do so. It's just as well, because if Chile would do its part by acting as a land bridge between Canada and Spain, there would undoubtedly be some sort of transatlantic migration going on there between Spain and Canada. And at some point, someone from Spain would wind up in Canada or vice versa, and they would become the indigenous people. And then once they got there, no one else would ever be allowed to go there ever again, apparently. Or maybe they shouldn't be allowed to, depending on which side of the argument you want to fall down on. The four horsemen of news headlines. World Bank so poor, need more money. This poor, need more money. Diana was still alive hours before she died. Princess Diana. Can you believe that? She was still alive for hours before she died. Many, many hours she lived before she finally passed away. Tragic. You can tell this is from the 90s. Federal agents raid gun shop, find weapons there. The store owner was arrested previously, possibly for being in possession of guns at a gun store. And planes were forced to land at airports. Those poor planes. Honey, are you feeling okay? You hardly touched your hot dickles. I want to say, is it any surprise newspapers don't exist anymore? Really? You didn't touch your hot dickles. What is that? Cream cheese? Neuf de Chanel? Is that ricotta? Is it just mayonnaise? The curious mind wonders. What if Bob Saget's last name started with an F? Like instead of Bob Saget, he was Bob Franklin. Boy, that'd be weird. What girls think guys want? 2 wives, one for Chorn, one for Horn, or just two girlfriends. That'd be okay. He seems to be enjoying it. Oh, go on. Love me. Fill my life up with love, and we can have a 3-income household. But the government says no. What guys really want is an equal amount of blueberries in each muffin. Is that so hard? I mean, a muffin's so small you can count it, but you could weigh them out, you know? I'm one of these guys that actually likes eating the batter for blueberry muffins more than I enjoy eating the muffins. Is that weird? Should I not have said that? Shout out to Google Docs for casually being homophobic. I bet they have fixed this. His husband, her husband. Let's bring back based Google Docs. And last meme of the day. If you were mine, I would buy you Taco Bell every day. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Wrong number. Hold on. Let's talk. Could you give yourself to a man that would give you Taco Bell every day? Just remember, guys, after my death, it will be celebrated for how correct I was. He had the correct opinions. Historians, doctors, lawyers, and each of my friends will all in turn say about me. That's the end of the memes now. I feel like I had something else to say about today. What was it? Oh, does anybody know what's going on with the cows or the moon? Last night I was up super late. It was after 1 a.m. and I have some cows that live nearby here, and they are just going nuts. They're mooing their asses off, just mooing loudly. Is now like the time of the rut for cows? Is it their rutting time? You know what I mean? Because I could hear them mooing all night, mooing loudly, loud, strained mooing, the kind of thing that makes you wonder what mommy and daddy, why they hate each other. And then I wake up this morning and I let Dana outside. Those motherfuckers are still out there mooing. I thought they were like upset by the moon because like the moon was really bright last night. Like, you know, can you imagine a cow suddenly being cognizant of the moon? Like that's world shattering for a cow, right? You know, they don't know about it. And then all of a sudden they do. Paradigm shifting. They're thinking outside the barn now. So I can understand why that would upset them. But why are they still mooing in the daytime? What the fuck's going wrong with them? It's 19 degrees cooler today than it was yesterday, and I've got my coffee. And it's very, very, very autumnal. And yesterday was overcast and nice. And I had just a wonderful time yesterday. And I summon, with all of the vim and yearning at my command, colder and darker days. And so that the outside world will match the inside world. And so that whether you like it or if you're oppressed by it, you can experience to some degree the natural state of being that is being me. That's empathy for you. I love being depressed. I love being sad. I become very creative and very contemplative and very nostalgic. And I feel like I have a lot of energy that goes to waste. But when I become sad, I can finally focus it into feeling sad. It's like being a member of the X-Men, and Charles Xavier teaches you how to master your power. That's what winter does to me. Fall. That's what fall does to me. I mean, it's like my ruby quartz glasses, and now I can focus my concussive energy beams at Magneto, rather than the ones I love. What a specious analogy. I hope somebody here likes X-Men, otherwise that's not making any sense. I was dreading it. I always sleep through my movies. Yes, snoring. That's kind of back where I was. Butter Queen listening at work. Jenny says, obviously, I've never been in a Target bathroom. We already talked about that, Jenny. I'm bringing it up to her like she said it twice. Butter Queen's here. John, I'm exactly the same. I always have a headphone in too. Well, bless you for putting me in your head. Playing whatever you need to embrace the depression around you. Yes. See, Jenny gets it. She knows that I'm listening to the saddest possible songs possible. Still haven't started listening to the Smiths, but they are, once I exhaust all the sad emotions out of the songs that I'm listening to, I'll be looking to expand that list. 10 out of 10 margaritas and queso would work. I'm not surprised that queso and margaritas would make Butter Queen feel better. Possibly just a stick of butter. A good stick, and this lady knows what she's talking about. She can recognize a bad stick of butter a mile away. I don't want a Kit Kat. I want Twix, 2 for me and none for you. Twix is a scam. It's really just a Keebler cookie, and no one who really likes cookies likes Keebler cookies. Chip Ahoy, Oreo, yes. Even the Pepperidge Farm ones, maybe, but the best cookies are the ones made at home. So why would you eat Twix? I say no to Twix. I really sincerely do not like Twix. I hate the sandwich meme. Foxy says, sorry. I would never let people know that I'm an adult that eats Pop-Tarts. Shame those adults that eat Uncrustables. I like the idea of Pop-Tarts, but Pop-Tarts are not they're not as good to me as I was when I was a child. My palate has evolved, and now I can barely tolerate the Pop-Tart. Of course, I still like the strawberry and the cherry ones. But when I think about eating a blueberry one or a brown sugar and cinnamon, it's just too much for me anymore. Sorry. It's for you now. I leave it to the next generation of people. John, just because I'm white doesn't mean I do everything pumpkin. Well, those are the exact words that I said, Falksy. I said, Falksy's white, and that means she does everything pumpkin. What? I mean, it's like you pick fights with me. I don't even know what you're talking about much of the time. You just start yelling. I know it all too well, John. Well, if only I had any idea what you were talking about. Any one of those 10 dates will bring you closer to each other, kind of like Bonnie and Clyde. Yes, we all want love like that. Watch how Pringles are made. You might not want to eat them. Yes, they're corrugated chip pieces. But isn't that true for everything? Can you say with moral certainty, like, hey, watch how it's made. You might not want to eat it anymore. Sausage, cheese, milk. Do we want to know how anything's made? I don't even want to know how eggs are made. I don't want to see that. I stopped eating Pringles when my hand couldn't fit in the can. That is nature's way of telling you it's time to stop. Maybe that's why they put it in the can. Where is everybody? Well, I can't sustain popularity when I'm acting like myself. That's bound to drive people away. My mother told me that I should become someone more likable, and curse it, I just never heeded her great advice. I reject any dairy slander. Sorry. I'm not here to slander dairy. I know I wouldn't with you here. I would try to find a peaceable understanding through your guidance and tutelage. I want to find healthy stuff to make an Oreo, make a Snickers salad. I'm pretty sure that what I showed you was healthy. Sorry, Taylor, I'm just here busy work this morning. Michael Hendricks is late. Again, what could he possibly be up to? Running errands and doing tax stuff. Taxation is theft. That's true. Why does it matter if they have a badge that says IRS or a gun? They're taking it away from you and you don't have a choice. It's like everyone's ears started ringing when I said, where is everyone? Well, maybe it's because of the time change. They thought the episode was just now starting instead of ending. That's right, folks. The time changed over the weekend, and we are now back on standard time. Felony loves Taco Bell. She wants more memes. Sorry, Felony. That was all of them. I decided not to go to the extreme lengths of overdoing the memes this week. Will Cray's here just to criticize End of Memes is sad. I hope you enjoyed the show today, Will Cray. It's always good to see you. Cows moo at predators at night. That's what I'm afraid of because I'm in the same environment as the cows. So what are the predators? That's what thank you, Michael. You nailed it. What's out there that they're afraid of? And so what's out there at 1 a.m. that's also out there at 10 a.m. 9 hours later, there's still something out there stalking them in the daylight. Out here, you're going to see coyotes, possibly a wolf. There's like a 1% encounter rate of a wild bobcat. You know, it's possible. So what is it out there that I'm hearing? Should I carry a gun? You know, what is it out there that's threatening the cows? They rut during the day. I like how our patent lawyer knows. There was a problem where a wolf or an alien or UFO attacking them. Yeah, I should probably go out there to see if any of them are exsanguinated or if there's any crop circles out there. And I have the time. One of my two favorite uncles is almost on his deathbed. I'm sorry to hear that. Been bummed the last few days. It sucks. The old just keeps getting more old. But it's our mortality that defines us. It's the end that gives our beginning and life purpose. If we live forever, then nothing that we would do would ever matter. It's why the gods always were envious of the mortals in Greek mythology. And I know that saying that out loud comforts you and negates all the feelings and invalidates all the love that you have for your uncle. Point is just give him as much of yourself as you can in the time that he's here. And the person that he is, his essence, loves you, and love endures forever. And even after he's gone, the part of him that you know and love, and the part of him that loves you will abide in you for all time. And it's a blessing from God. And don't be crushed in spirit. Be grateful that you had a man in your life that ever loved or cared about you the way that your uncle did. And pass that on to someone that needs that from you. The cows might be calving, or less likely in heat. That's what the rut is, right? See, I'm glad that we have a USDA butter inspector here because she's bound to have tacitly, by osmosis alone, have picked up something that I need to know. Are they calving? Is this when they calve? Are they out there giving birth right now? Should I go out there and have a genuine City Slickers moment? Should I lose my wristwatch? Melancholy is my superpower. Plain loading. Goodbye, everyone, in this case, in case I don't make it. Who does he remind you of? Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Drew. My flights of angels sing thee to thy sleep in the clouds. I'm driving to Lamont, Illinois. Boy, that's the same thing as flying off into the unknown. We don't know if you'll be back going to Illinois. Turning point that was started to leave flowers for Charlie's birthday. Very sweet. That's tomorrow, I believe. Drew, sorry about the lack of air traffic controllers. The pilot should be good through VFR alone. Line of sight, they can see a landing strip a mile away, hopefully. Twix is a scam. I like how he chimed in one last time to say Twix is a scam. That's my hot take, is the earth is flat. Well, he's going up to check it out right now. I like my Pop-Tarts the same way I like my women. Air traffic controller overrated, and Patco strike proves that DEI all the way. Qualifications are overrated. I watch how my brisket is made, and it makes me want it more. Well, that's because you're making it yourself. You don't drink your Pringle, anyone? Yeah, we all tip the can like a bunch of monsters, like a bunch of animals. We all give ourselves our slop. Listen, John, you know how to touch my feral side already? Yeah, by going on the air. That's all I have to do, and all of a sudden it comes out. Pringles are made from a paste. Well, yeah, but so are the breadsticks at Olive Garden. I've been here the whole time. Jonathan, you have a gun and cows only have moos. Well, I don't want to fight the cows. I want to fight whatever's fighting the cows. I want to protect the cows. I'm not here to fight the cows. The cows don't like me whenever I go for a walk. They do moo at me as well. I'm literally going for a walk now, though, because I'm pretty sure that the gym is closed for, sorry for being white day. So I might just carry strap just in case. Because I do go a little bit of ways out of the way. And let's face it, I know about 911 here. No one's going to get here in time to save me. So maybe I will take a gun just in case. All right. Good. Taking a gun on a jog. That's where I live. And it's not because I live in Detroit. It's because I live in the middle of nowhere. I worked on a dairy before this. I'm sorry. I underestimate you. Butter Queen, I apologize for pigeonholing you as, well, she knows what she knows because she's a federal employee. Maybe you know what you know because you're a complex, flawed, beautiful human being with deep interests, myriad, manifold interests. And your knowledge and your base of information extends anything that I could take away from you at a glance. Maybe a federal employee is the merest thing about you. And I could spend a whole life learning more about you. And each day of discovery would be breathtaking and challenging all anew. I hope you're getting paid right now, by the way. You deserve to be paid. We need our butter inspected. You need a new gym if they're closed for today. That's bullshit. Well, I could go to the one where I have the access in town. I don't know if they're closed. The thing is, I don't want to drive all the way over there because it takes about 45 minutes to get there. I don't want to drive all the way up there to find that they're closed. I also don't want to call them. I might do the thing where I call them, and if I hear a voice answer, then I hang up, and then I know they're open. But I don't want to go all the way up there. Also, it's really autumnal outside, and I feel like in another month, it'll be too cold to go for walks. So this is really the good time to go enjoy the outside as a form of exercise. So that I might be doing it that way. Take my gun to the gym. I normally wouldn't. All right, guys, that's the end of me. An hour and 15 minutes, so much more reasonable. Last thing, if you're listening to this on Spotify, I have 2 5-star ratings, one of which I gave myself. If you actually listen to this whole thing on Spotify, then you like the show. Can you please leave me a 5-star rating? You don't have to leave a review. I don't even know if I'm on iTunes. I mean, I'm the one responsible for setting it up on iTunes. So you'd think I would know, but I don't know. I have no idea. But if you're listening to this on Spotify, please leave me a 5-star review because I only have 2 and one of them's from me. And it makes it look like the saddest podcast on earth. And I know you don't think to do that. So please leave that there, I guess. Other than that, I don't know what's going on this week with me and Drew for Thursday. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll take a week off because both of us are depressed and both of us are not seeing the point to doing anything in our lives. And it's autumn and the onset of seasonal affect disorder. You know, we might talk about Don Adelson getting sentenced. I don't know how to stretch that into a 30-minute program. We could talk about how sentencing is ridiculous in this country. For example, the guy that tried to kill Justice Kavanaugh only got 8 years in prison, but the guy that attacked Paul Pelosi is going to prison for life. So that's kind of fucked up, right? Maybe we could talk about prison sentencing in general. I don't know. Drew's already gone, so he can't assent or dissent to this. All right, Michael Hendricks stirring up things in the chats. I appreciate you, all you guys. Thanks for watching the show today. Shout out to Shorty Rides, who's still on holiday. Travel safe. Keep both hands on the handlebars. Keep all your limbs inside the vehicle at all times. Don't buy from Teespring. Everybody have a good day, a good week. Remember that apple is the superior flavor to pumpkin or pumpkin spice. Go have some cider. Put on a scarf, throw a football, rake some leaves, and enjoy the autumn of our lives. Have a good day, everybody.